Tonight's the show where we talk about some truly bizarre and disturbing crime cases. My name is Liz and today is True Crime Tuesday. Today I'm going to tell you a remarkable story about forgiveness, because who doesn't have someone in their life that they might need to forgive a little? Okay, so let's go to Sugar Land, Texas. Sugar Land is right outside of Houston and describes itself as being a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Sounds good. Our protagonist, Ken, is about to go on a blind date. Ken is a tall, attractive guy with a big full mustache who has tried his luck at blind dates before, but when Patricia walked down the stairs with her blonde hair and easy smile, he knew this one was different. They hit it off right from the start, but after a few months, the couple knew they were in love. Ken was a comptroller for his family's construction company, and Patricia was an elementary school teacher. The couple would get married, and 5 years later, on December 31st, 1979, their son Thomas Bartlett was born. On March 19th, 1984, the couple welcomed their second son, Kevin Michael, into the world. Patricia would end up leaving her job where she was well loved to raise her sons, and by all accounts, the family seemed very happy. The boys had what could be described as a typical upper middle class childhood in a beautiful Texas suburban neighborhood. Thomas Bartlett, or Bart, was described as quick-witted and doing well in school, while his brother Kevin Michael, or Kevin, was the more sensitive of the two and was also involved in a bunch of his school's extracurricular activities. Despite their almost 5-year age gap, the boys were close and trained on long cycling rides together where they would talk about everything going on in their everyday lives. Throughout their lives, Bart and Kevin's parents provided for them, and this didn't stop when they went off to college. Their eldest, Bart, was off to San Houston State University, and Kevin would later go off to Houston Community College. When it was time for Bart to graduate, he excitedly called his parents to tell them that he passed the last of his exams, and the whole family decided to go out to celebrate. They arrived in great spirits at Papa Duke's Seafood Kitchen on December 3rd, 2003. Kevin was able to come as well, and the family enjoyed a delicious dinner together and gave Bart a $4,000 Rolex watch that he wanted for some time. To say they were proud was an understatement. After dinner, the family headed back to the Whitaker household, and as they were about to go inside, Bart realized he left his cell phone in the car. Kevin went on ahead into the house, and almost as soon as he entered, a gunshot rang out. Almost right behind him, his mom Patricia exclaims, "Oh no!" before a second gunshot is heard. At first, Kurt didn't realize what was happening, and when he stepped into his house, he saw a man with a ski mask standing there. At first, he thought it was a joke, then a third shot erupted. Bart ran in last and actually wrestled with the intruder before a fourth shot erupted. Having shot all 4 family members of the Whitaker family, the gunman fled, leaving his weapon behind. A neighbor had heard the shots and rushed to the scene, finding the 4 bloody family members all in various conditions. At first, he was able to get "he shot us" out of Patricia before calling 911. While he was on the phone, Bart was also calling 911. Here's a clip from Bart's.
911, station emergency.
I've been shot.
Who's been shot?
It's my mom and my dad and my brother.
Hold on 1 second, sir. Engine 1, all we have 1 subject right now. Apparently the whole family's been shot. Stand by. Is this Tricia or Kent?
This is Bart, the son.
Okay, Bart, where is your wound?
In the arm, my shoulder. I think I can't move my arm.
Okay, who else has been shot in the house with you?
I can't see.
Who else was in the house with you?
We were walking in the house. My brother and my mom and my dad. Oh God, I can't.
I need you to hang on, Bart. I've got help on the way, okay? Do you know who shot you?
No.
Okay, your neighbors were telling me that he had a mask on. Is that true?
No. I think it's dark in here.
Okay, do you think he was burglarizing your home, or are you guys having problems with somebody?
Oh, God, I don't know.
How many,
Can't move.
how many shots did he fire, Bart?
I don't know.
Can you tell me anything about him at all? Did he sound black, white, Hispanic, Middle Eastern?
Maybe black. I don't know. I couldn't...
Okay, when he left, Bart, did he leave out your back door?
Yeah, I chased him that way.
He let you chase him out towards the back door?
Yeah.
Okay, Bart, where were you when he shot you?
I'm in the living room. Oh.
Slow down, okay? They're on the way. Where are you in the house right now?
I'm in the living room.
You're in the living room?
What? Oh. Someone's here.
Okay, do you see the officers, Bart?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the officers coming in. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect with you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you even imagine? So in the aftermath, it turns out the shooter only hit Bart in the arms, and both men would make a full recovery, physically at least. Patricia and Kevin were not so lucky. Kevin was pronounced dead on the scene from a shot to the chest, and Patricia was airlifted out of the house but would not make it. So what happened? Why would anyone want this perfect Texas family dead? And what was supposed to be such a happy night for them? At first, it was assumed this was a robbery gone wrong, but there was no sign of forced entry, and the gun used and left at the scene was from the home's gun safe. Also, nothing of value was taken. When looking more into the family to try and figure out what was going on, they discovered that Bart was not actually graduating from San Houston State University, which was why the family was out celebrating to begin with that night. In fact, they found that he was still listed as a freshman on academic probation and was not even currently technically enrolled. The police brought this information to Ken at first, and he immediately confronted Bart. Bart told him that he was intending to make up the classes and was just really embarrassed that he didn't live up to his family's expectations, and he was hoping to celebrate now and finish later, with them being none the wiser. After hearing this, Kent was mostly angry that the police looked at this as a motive and were now wasting their time by considering Bart as a suspect, and assumed things would just smooth over. But they didn't at all. Bart didn't exactly have the perfect student record and was actually involved in a plot to kill his parents before. Now, that really doesn't look good. 2 years before the fatal shooting, someone at Bart's school called the police because they heard Bart and a friend planning a pretty elaborate hit on the Whitakers. When confronted, Bart explained it was two drunk friends just joking and rambling, but because the police did receive that call, they had it on record. And then the roommate, Adam Hip, actually goes to the police later to tell them about the plan, which was in fact a real plan. And the reason behind it apparently was that Bart wanted his share of his father's construction business money. Surprise, surprise. Despite police warning Ken that Bart was now the main suspect in his family's death, the two moved back in their house together after their stay in the hospital. Ken was a religious man and had already vowed in his heart to forgive whoever had killed his wife and son, while also injuring him and his other son, as hard as that was for him. Here's a clip of Bart talking about his father's forgiveness.
Truly forgave the person that did this. I mean, he was the first real Christian that I'd ever met that really did what Jesus Christ told him to do.
7 months after the shooting, Bart tells his dad he's going out for the evening and never returns. He had fled to Mexico. As the investigation continued, police looked into Bart's previous roommate, Chris Brashear, and a person living 2 doors down from them, Stephen Champagne. After submitting DNA and scent samples, bloodhounds were able to pick on Chris Brashear's scent all over the Whitaker house. Both men denied any involvement, but after about a year of surveillance and pressuring the two men, tapping their phones and subpoenaing their family for any information, Stephen broke, and he ended up confessing what happened that night. Apparently, before dinner that night, Chris went with Bart to the Whitaker home. Bart met with his family and they headed out to dinner, while Chris hid behind, waiting for them to leave so he could sneak in through the back door that Bart had unlocked for him. Stephen kept an eye on the family during dinner and followed them home so that he could act as the getaway car for Chris. After Chris carried out his attack, Stephen explained that he and Chris were promised a portion of the life insurance that Bart would have collected had both his parents actually died. Another break in the case finally came on September 14th, 2005 from a man named Rudy Rios, who told police that Bart had paid him $3,000 to escort him to Mexico and let him use his identity. Rudy kept his mouth shut until the police started offering a $10,000 reward for any information about Bart's whereabouts. And there you have it. Bart was brought back and charged, and the district attorney was seeking the death penalty. Most of Bart's case was built around sparing him from the death penalty and not his actual innocence, which he never said he was innocent. The jury found him guilty and sentenced him to death. Bart didn't show any emotion when his verdict was read. Bart did feel the need to clarify that he killed his family not for the money as everyone speculated, but due to a hatred he developed for his family, due to expectations he felt that he was unable to fulfill. Many people would agree that he's a con man and a sociopath, and I can see where they get that. Here is a clip from Bart talking about why he killed his family.
Why did you do what you did? I mean, why did you want to kill your family?
I can go back and tell you why I felt so inadequate and why I felt that my parents didn't love me. And I recognize so many of the errors now. There's a difference between an excuse and a reason, and I don't try to make excuses for what I did. I try to... You can't make an excuse for this, but yeah, there were things that happened that were reasons for it.
Okay. Bart filed many appeals against the death penalty and all were denied. He was scheduled to be executed on February 22nd, 2018 at 6 p.m., but Ken wrote to the State Board of Pardons and Paroles asking them not to kill his last remaining family member. Can you even imagine? On the 22nd, after Bart was served and had eaten his last meal, the governor signed papers after the board voted unanimously to convert his sentence to life without parole after the gut-wrenching plea from Kent to spare him. Here is a clip of Kent shortly thereafter.
For waiting for us, I apologize for the wait. We got quite a celebration going on when we got the news. But I wanted to thank everyone. In particular, I want to thank the governor for doing the hard work to review this unusual case and give it the extra special time it took to reach a good decision. And he did make the right decision, and we're very grateful for that. I want to thank the parole board, that group of 7 men and women who spent their life in law enforcement and prison management, who really worked hard at this. And it was a huge file that they went through, and each one came to the same conclusion, that in this case a commutation of the original sentence was the right thing, and we're very grateful to them for doing that.
That beautiful woman you see standing behind him is Tanya Youngling, who ironically he met on a blind date as well. He now tours the country with her, speaking on the power of forgiveness. Isn't that awesome? So that's going to do it for today's story, and I'm not going to do a feel-good segment on top of today's true crime story because I really don't think it's possible for me to top Kent's example of forgiveness. And it's good to know he's been blessed with almost a second chance of life on top of this. In a quick quote I read from him, "This wasn't human. It was a gift I believe God gave me. The whole forgiveness thing was taken care of that night, and it was beyond what I could have done, but it happened." How profound is that? So if you like today's story, please be sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think about Bart and Ken in the comments below. And until next week, please stay safe out there. Bye!